Features of Germanic languages. Uh, Earlier we spoke about different features in the phonetic structure. Mostly here we give feature of Germanic languages. First feature, dynamic stress in the root syllable. What does it mean? It means in all Germanic languages, the first initial syllable is stressed, and stress is dynamic. It means it's a forceful stress. Therefore, it's noticeable. One can clearly see that the first initial syllable is root syllable is stressed. This is the same in all Germanic languages. Next, wide use of ablaut is a phonomorphological means. What does it mean? It means that ablaut, as we know, is the change of the root syllable to form some new grammatical forms or categorical forms of the word. For example, to shake, shook, shaken, take, took, taken, and all other verbs which are traditionally called irregular verbs mm, form their basic forms by means of phonomorphological means. What is phonomorphological? Phonomorphological means change of a phoneme, change the grammatical form of the word. This is called phonomorphological means. Here, two words or representatives of two levels take part in the formation of a categorical form of the word. This is called phonomorphological means. Ablaut is one of the well-known phonomorphological means, which is observed in all languages, not only Germanic, in all other languages too. Next, assimilative changes of vowels. Assimilative changes of vowels are observed in all Germanic languages, and it is stated as feature of Germanic language. What does it mean? It means that we know that there are assimilative changes of consonants in many languages, but here in Germanic languages we see assimilative changes of vowels, or vowels can also change as a result of assimilation. Therefore, we call assimilative change of vowels. Next, reduction of unstressed syllables, one of the main features of Germanic languages. Reduction means weakening of unstressed syllables, weakening of vowels in unstressed syllables. Why does it happen? I mean, reduction. It's because in all the languages, when the stress is dynamic, when the first or initial syllable is stressed with a force, it has forceful stress, there is left power is left for the second and third syllables. Therefore, they are weakened because a man or speaker has not enough power to pronounce them in full or stressed form. Therefore, it's called a reduction of unstressed syllable. This is the result of dynamic stress in the root syllable. Next feature, rhotacism. Rhotacism is the change of s to z and to r. It's the result of Werner's law, about which we spoke earlier. Common Germanic consonant shift. Common Germanic consonant shift is Grimm's law. We saw that three statements of Grimm's law. That's called common Germanic consonant shift because it's observed in all Germanic languages. Next one, formation of the weak preterite by the help of the dental suffix. Weak preterite is formation of past tense by means of dental suffix. Dental suffix is suffixes pronounced by the help of two teeth. For example, in the English language, we see help, helped, ask, asked, want, wanted. All the the are forms of dental suffix. And the last feature of Germanic languages is called twofold declension of adjectives. In all Germanic languages, adjectives were declined in two ways. Adjective had two forms: strong declension adjective and weak declension adjective. What's the difference between these forms? Mm, Strong adjective declension is used when there is no antecedent before adjective. No word is or determinative is coming before adjective. For example, new books. Weak adjective is used when there is some determined before adjective. For example, my new books. Therefore, the second case is called weak declension adjective, and the first form is called the strong declension adjective. The English language has no more such kind of declension of adjectives, but in all other Germanic languages we have a strong and weak declension adjective. This was all about features of Germanic languages. Next. Form building means in Common Germanic. Next item of our lecture. Form building means. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know what is it. It can be paraphrased as ways of expressing the grammatical meanings in Common Germanic. Common Germanic is a form of existence of the language which existed before those Germanic languages came into existence, before they developed into separate languages. This is called Common Germanic. And expressing grammatical meanings is how grammatical categories are explained, are formed in Germanic language. There are four. First one, sound interchange in the root used in combination with other means. We know it as ablaut. We discussed it earlier. This is the first way of expressing grammatical meaning. Second, grammatical endings or suffixes used alone or in combination with other means in all changeable parts of speech. Changeable parts of speech are noun, verb, adjective, etc. You know it. Next, suppletive forms confined to a few word forms inherited from ancient Indo-European. Suppletive forms are forms which are used to express a grammatical meaning. They develop from other roots. For example, to be, am, is, are, was, were, etc., etc. These are forms taken from other roots. Or let's take examples from adjectives: good, better, best, bad, worse, worse. Pronouns: I, me, my, mine, etc., etc. Such forms, or she, her, he, his, these forms are called suppletive forms. These are so typical to Germanic languages. They were inherited from Indo-European proto-language. Therefore, we find such kind of suppletive forms in other Indo-European languages, in Romance languages, in Slavic languages, etc., etc. And the last one, prefixes, hardly ever used. In the English language, in all the Germanic languages, we find prefixes expressing grammatical meaning. For example, geboren, etc., etc. In Russian language, we find many prefixes, but in the English language, we have no prefix expressing grammatical meaning. Such means of expressing grammatical meaning died out in the process of language development. Now, some examples to the suppletive forms. For example, Latin ego in nominative case, in Russian ja, Gothic ik, Old Icelandic ek, Old English ich, and New English I. Genitive case form: Latin me, Russian moi, Gothic means, Old Icelandic min, Old English min, New English my and mine. Dative: Latin mihi, Russian mnie, Gothic mis, Old Icelandic mer, Old English me, New English me. Accusative case: Latin me, Russian minia, Gothic mis, Old Icelandic mer, Old English me, New English me. I can give an example from the Latin language. Amicus mihi Plato sit magis amicus veritas. If you remember the Latin language, you understand the meaning of this proverb. If not, you have to think it over and try to find its translation. Now, next item of our lecture is the second consonant shift. Earlier we spoke about the first consonant shift, and this time we'll analyze the second consonant shift. The second consonant shift took place in High German dialect of the south of Germany. The pattern of the second consonant shift is Common Germanic d corresponds to Germanic High Germanic t. Common Germanic p corresponds to High German p. Common Germanic k corresponds to High German h, he. Common Germanic b corresponds to High German p. Common Germanic t corresponds to High German ts, s. Common Germanic v corresponds to High German d. Examples: Germanic bed. As an example to Germanic languages, we took from the English language because it's the only language you know better than other Germanic languages. High German bet. Germanic du, High German tun. Germanic pool, High German pool. Germanic 10, High German 10. Germanic eat, High German essen. Old German Germanic make, High German machen. Germanic 3, High German drei. Germanic brother, High German Bruder. Germanic other, Germanic ander. Germanic mouth, High German Mund. Germanic water, High German Wasser. Germanic sleep, High German schlafen. Germanic ship, High German Schiff. There are some other cases of the shift. For example, t changed into s. For example, let, lassen, k, h, break, brechen, p changed into p, pipe, pfeffer, Kamp, Kampf, Token, Zeichen, Pepper, Pfeffer. T changed into ts, two, zwei, Heart, Herz, Tongue, Zunge. D changed into t, daughter, Tochter, day, Tag, old, alt. In combinations SP, ST, SK, TR, HF, FT, the second consonant shift did not take place. For example, the word Stein. If there were second consonant shift, it would change into Stein. That's all. This would not change. Stein. It's translated into English as a stone. Kraft. The same. Spinnen. It is in English. It's to spin. And Nacht. Nacht is translated into English as night. Here, Hete remained unchanged as a result of the second consonant shift. This is all for today. This is the end of the second lecture. Thank you for your attention.